Well, welcome back to Up on This Rock TV. I'm Pastor A. Thomas Hill.
And I'm Sharon Thompson Hill. We are your host.
And I am glad to be back. Over the last couple of weeks, my co-host Sharon has filled in quite well and interviewing. I hope you have received some information and everything else you needed to understand Christian theater even the more. Now, I've got a real interesting, or we have a very interesting program for you today that I want to deal with as a pastor, and that is the church and theater. The church and theater. Sharon, you know, back in the day when we were coming up, and you've mentioned that, alluded to it as well, when we were launching Up on This Rock 34 years ago, that we had some opposition. Everybody wasn't for theater in the church. In fact, the only thing that was acceptable back then was these little skits with children in Sunday school. It was cute, it was innocent, and so we were able to get away with it. But when you start talking about grown folks acting out, and can you remember those times back there in the church?
Exactly.
They just didn't believe in it. In fact, I remember one pastor that said, that was back in that time when we were revving this up, that if you get them in church with a play, then you're going to have to keep giving them a play. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound too sound. But back then, because they weren't familiar with theater and they weren't familiar with drama, there were so many negative things that were attached to it. In fact, I was reading an article that the Catholic Church back in the day was totally against theater. They would literally put people out of the church if they were connected in any way with theater.
And what we learn is that people will always diminish or do away with that they don't understand. And that can come from fear of the unknown or just out of ignorance. But we will diminish